Good morning. I hope you have had a beautiful start to your day, that you have taken a moment to breathe into your being, into your center, and allowed yourself just a moment of calm. And I encourage and invite you to walk with that and to do that a few times in your day. It's so easy to get caught up in the storm of doing and taking care of and picking up the groceries, picking up the kids, walking the dog, doing the laundry, finishing that contract, picking up the phone, canceling an appointment, making an appointment. And that's easy to do. But we have a rich inner world happening, and what is happening on our outside is happening on our inside, and I think we deserve to bring in that moment of calm, to breathe in to that eye of the storm, where all of time is slowed down, and it's like a gooey molasses pod on the inside, calling in your ancestors, calling in your angels, calling in your spirit guides, the elementals, whatever totems, whatever beings and spirits are here to help you evolve and to express and discover and explore your highest potential, your highest of good and love and light. When we take a moment to pray and to give gratitude in any sort of conscious contact capacity, we are feeding the spirits. A few of my mentors offer that as a medicine practice, where there have been cultures that believe when we sing, when we pray, when we dance, when we do ceremony, when we take that moment to be, we are feeding the spirits, feeding the ancestors, feeding the elementals, those who take care of this world. And it is through our offerings in that way that they are able to survive and then continue to take care of us. And so it is our duty and our privilege to walk in ceremony in every breath and every step, and be sending out those prayers of thanks, of gratitude, of conscientiousness, to feed the caretakers, known and unknown, seen and unseen, who help us in our life at all times and on this Pachamama, So to not forget, and to, the beauty of that practice is that inherently it's a communion. For when we remember those spirits and offer them food, they are able to remember us. And in doing so, we create an energetic container and environment for our own hearts where we feel supported, because we remember the support that we do have. And if we're just running about our day, busy, and never really coming inward to connect with self, to walk that bridge to the inner world, to the unseen world, it can feel like we're alone and isolated because we haven't contacted ourselves and all the help that is available to us. So of course that feels alone. And there's so much help that's always happening in a way that it's so easy to not understand, But if we think about the walls that are holding us, and the roof that is keeping us dry, and the food in our fridge, and this weird plastic card that you swipe and all of a sudden you get things for it, and the oxygen that the trees are pumping out for us, these phones that keep us connected. There are so many things when we start to just take a moment that we realize the whole universe is celebrating us. The whole universe is celebrating us and supporting us. And if we can keep paying attention and feed that breadcrumb trail, then that's the path we end up walking around. One where, you're setting these breadcrumbs on this trail so that you can find your way back home if you turn around. But the beauty is that if you keep doing that and then you look up, you've changed your environment, right? Because you have this trail, this anchor, this line, this lineage that proves to you, even when you forget, because you're so narrow focused and we're just looking down like this, and then we look up. And yeah, sure, maybe there's this moment of like, where the F am I? Oh my God, I don't recognize this place. But then we remember, hey, remember that breadcrumb trail that I left behind of all those things that I've seen that are here conspiring and supporting? That is my evidence that I am not alone, that I am supported, that I can find my way back home. And my way back home is centered. Your way back home is through the heart of gratitude, through the heart of love, right? And so when we do that, it doesn't matter where we end up, right? When we look up and have that moment of panic, like, I don't recognize where we are, that's okay. That's okay, because you know how to get your way back home, right? And it's through these moments of recognition and gratitude. I don't know why that's coming out, but it is. I was going to pull a card, but here I am just talking about that. So I guess maybe I needed to hear it, or someone here maybe needed to hear it. And I know I do. Truth be told, I am really going out on a limb making these videos. It's very uncomfortable for me. I really am not loving it. It is a stretch, but I am stretching myself in this discomfort and trying something new. And so I'm offering that as a way to reveal my own heart and my own growth point, right? And I can get so caught up in the drama of it. Well, if it's not perfect in the beginning and I don't have an editor and oh, I forgot to say that, and oh, people are going to think that I think I'm some guru or some professional or some this, and there's so much of a voice of just like imposter and who do you think you are, and that's super lame and you have nothing special to say, or blah blah blah. And that's a really loud voice for me. It's a really loud voice, and it stops me from doing things in my life all the time. But if you saw the video last night, it's the dead end card, and that's coming up for me, where it's like the patterns that are in place around there's no point in doing it if you can't do it perfect the first time. Story around humiliation, public humiliation. Please, Papa, no. No. But the clumsiness and stop it. The clumsiness, the awkwardness that comes with doing something new and being vulnerable, especially like as an adult, I think for me anyway, I can only speak that there's such a voice for me where it's like, well, at this stage in life, if it doesn't look like you know what you're doing, but the reality is none of us do. And to embrace that playfulness and the awkwardness and that childlike wonder of doing something new and weird and awkward and seeing how the universe shows up, and that generous heart for us is where the exercise and the growth point actually is, right? And so that's what I'm doing with you guys also. Feel free to throw down in the comments maybe an awkward, weird growth point that you're walking through as well. And I so celebrate you in your walk, and I honor you in that walk. And I guess part of this sharing or channeling is the remembrance for myself too, that no matter how shitty I feel like I've done, or how awkward it is, or how absolutely mortified and embarrassed I am about putting these out, the point is that I am so supported, and so what if you fall flat on your face? There are people around you who love you and support you and see your glory and see your shining heart, and that's what's important. And it's never going to be a comfortable thing if you don't start doing it, right? So the only way out is through. It's so annoying. Let go or be dragged. It's the phrase that I'm constantly bringing up for myself, because if you want things to change, you have to change your things, right? Your behaviors, your patterns, your attitudes. And so while my inside is like, you know, at the same time, I have to allow myself a little bit of belief in myself, right? And I'm encouraging you to do the same thing, to believe in yourself, no matter how awkward and clumsy and ridiculous it might feel. Gnosis. This is an initiation card, which in this deck is kind of like having a major arcana card. It's like a big deal. There's only, I don't know, maybe 8 initiations or something in the whole deck. And Gnosis is the initiation of knowing all, knowing so deeply in your bones. It's not a book knowing, you know, it's not a just experience knowing. It's all knowledge, all remembrance. It's your Akashic records. It's knowing everything and nothing all at once, you know, and having faith. I would say it's like in taking that step. There's the rainbow here, which means all of spirit is present. And these rings here remind me of that record, you know, like a record rings, and it's just like going around loop, loop, loop. And that's the karmic wheel that we're on. You know, we reincarnate over and over and over and over to work out these themes, to express out these kinks and these weird, you know, whatever. And so that's part of what I'm doing right now, is like working on the kink of like believing myself, finding myself worthy, finding abundance, and changing my scarcity attitude into an abundant attitude. And it doesn't depend on the physical stuff that I see, except that it also does, right? Because, okay, maybe I don't have $10,000 in my bank account, but man, I have a roof over my head. I have a fridge. I have critters who love me. You know, it's still spotting out those beautiful things and counting those talents, counting that, and the resources that you have within yourself, and paying attention to that. And that's what feeds your breadcrumb trail, right? And the knowledge that when we do these, it shifts your paradigms, and the reality you enter is now different, right? Like your external reality is determined by that slipstream of choice in every moment. And that choice is a perception choice, and it then opens the door through a different portal into a different dimension, to a different reality, you know? So we're always hopping these timelines, we're always hopping these reality lines, because in every moment that you choose a certain perception, you're opening a different door. I hope that makes sense. But knowing that you are held, knowing that it is all okay, knowing that even if you forget, it's still there. It's okay. You're held. It takes the time it takes, you know, and I think that we're just so much more supported than we think we are, you know, or that we can feel we are. No, that's the difference. It's the feeling. It's the feeling, the knowing in your bones, in your body, that even if you don't see what you think you want to see as a reflection of your measured success or worthiness, it's the feeling that you are supported, seen, loved, recognized, validated, on a path, you know, inheriting divine, you know, abundance and prosperity, blessings. It's the feeling. So if you're like, well, shit, Verity, I don't feel very abundant right now, and I don't really want to give thanks for this, and this. I know it's uncomfortable and awkward. I guess maybe that's part of why I was bringing this up. It is uncomfortable and awkward for me to sit here and do this. And it can be uncomfortable and awkward to look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. I like myself. I love myself. I believe in myself. I respect myself. I deserve all the best things that are out there for me in the world. You know, I deserve the best that life has to offer. This is a Psych K thing. Or the Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Allowing the feeling. The feeling is the vehicle that allows us to, how you say it? It's the feeling that is the vehicle that allows you to move between these gateways, these portals in different dimensions and timeline realities. And so if you're feeling like shit, you're going to keep moving through shit, right? And I don't like saying that in such a superstitious way. If you want to get into it, you can get into it. But in order to receive that abundance and prosperity, you need to feel that abundance and prosperity. And if you don't feel like you can, or it's awkward and uncomfortable, you know there is work there. And it's the opportunity to bring more attention and love and grace to yourself in that space. And the way that you do that is by doing it, by practicing it, by doing the eye gazes, by doing the mirror affirmation, and allowing you, I was doing a Psych K with friends yesterday and realizing that I was getting hung up actually on the, I love myself, I like myself, I respect myself. And as I was going deep into it, what came up for me was the realization that like, I identify with feeling damaged. I identify with feeling damaged, not good enough to receive. And it doesn't serve me. It reminds me of the Two of Swords in the tarot where she's blindfolded and she's got the swords like this. I don't have it at my disposal right now. But the whole point of that card is that she's blindfolded and she's bound, but she's got these two swords and she's not actually bound. She can actually just cut her bonds with the swords and just get up and walk away. That's all she has to do. So it's a perception, it's a trick of the mind. And I say mind because the swords represent the thoughts, ideas, opinions, and she feels blind in the dark. It's that dark night of the soul, but she can just get up and walk away. And so I was identifying with that super deeply yesterday, where it's like, right, I don't have to keep identifying with this story that I am damaged, that I am not deserving, that I can't. For me, that's a bit of a crux. I have a hard time believing in myself and having confidence in that space. And so it's so much easier to keep myself down, but that's not for my highest good. That's not claiming the divine inheritance that is here for me. That is not claiming my worthiness and allowing life to fill my cup and allow me to be nourished, and drink from those waters. And I think that we are here to do that. And so what do I need to do? Sit down and bathe in that energy of, I love myself, I like myself, I believe in myself, I respect myself, I deserve all the best things life has to offer. And just keep calling that in, bathe in it. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? And you've got to just keep doing it as it dissolves and then settles into the cells of your body. That's how you call these things in. That's how you manifest. It's through attraction. It's through sitting down and feeling that sink into your core, into your body. And in those spaces, you get to make contact with yourself and the resources that are available, like we talked about in the very beginning, right? So I don't know why I went on this huge tangent, but here we are going on a huge tangent. Yeah, and just a fun little clarity card. Sun in Virgo, health. So part of this is just part of your daily health routine. Virgo is literally the daily practices, daily dharma, daily routine that we put into place for our health. And that can be your physical health, mental, emotional, spiritual health. And your sun is your creative purpose, your ego purpose, your creative self-expression. And then 6, is the number of the Venus. So as above, so below, divine counterparts, masculine, feminine balance. So I just feel like that card is confirming, reaffirming that it's part of your daily practices, part of your daily ritual, your daily practice, your daily routine to sit down and do this stuff, to sit down and make a video, to sit down and do mirror work. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Whatever works for you. Maybe you get 10 different affirmations that resonate for you and do one for 10 minutes in the mirror every day looking at yourself, something like that. But it needs to be this daily practice, this daily routine that starts to slough off the grind and purify your resonance with your higher self. Because it's a big project. Life is hard. You live a long time. You've lived a lot of lives. There's a lot of it's going to take time, but having that compassion and that grace and remembering that the sun is always shining on you. Just because it's nighttime doesn't mean the sun disappeared. It'll come back, and allowing your sun, where are you keeping yourself bound? Like that Two of Swords. Where are you keeping yourself tied down? And it's a trick. It's a trick. And why? Like, what is the motive and what is the payoff for you keeping yourself bound and small and constricted? Is it because of fear of humiliation? Is it fear that if you get something, you're going to lose it again? Does it feel like life is cruel and you're exposed? Like, what is the process that you need to walk through? What do you need to grieve? What do you need to let go of? Do you need to do ceremony? You know, do you need to just like pray about it every day and contact spirit and ask for help? Because you can't do it all on your own. You know, you don't control the weather and you don't control all your healing, but you have a point, like a part in it, right? And when we do that and kind of polish that gold that's within ourselves, it shines like the sun, you know, and the whole point of the sun is that you get to be the sun of your solar system. You get to be the center of everything. And the sun is this warm, generous, heart chakra light that allows everything to grow. So in you, in your psyche, in your soul, in this life, where are the parts that are getting the sun and what aren't? What is dying? What's been ignored? What's decaying? Where's there mold? And how do you bring the sun to it? How do you excavate it? How do you clean that out? How do you bring love to it? Again, the daily affirmations, the prayer, the sitting down, the meditation, and it has to be a daily routine. Yeah. Principle, Jupiter and Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is about finding your ultimate truth, and Jupiter is the ever expander. And so what I would say is there is expansion, and how do I say? Jupiter is the fund matcher. So it expands whatever it touches. And so again, it's this idea of like, well, if you water your thoughts with good intentions, it will expand that. If you water your thoughts with, I'm shitty, I'm not good enough, this is awkward, blah, 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 that is what you're gonna grow, right? And Jupiter here, yeah, there's the sun, the moon, so balanced masculine, balanced feminine, following your intuition, following your creative purpose. And I would say the principle here too is that discipline. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a migraine today, do it anyway. Even if it's only for 30 seconds instead of 10 minutes, then you did it for 30 seconds, right? So it's that principle of like, I have this vision for myself because I'm choosing to go through the awkward clumsiness of wanting to believe in myself, wanting to love myself, wanting to like myself, and wanting to like my life, and seeing the gap and the tension between where you are and where you want to be, and saying, you know what, I'm going to allow myself the respect and the love and the dignity enough that even when I am not feeling it, because I know that that's going to be a long, hard road over there, I'm going to do it anyway. Because I have this idea that the actual truth for myself is that I do deserve these things, and life does have a lot to offer, and I am deserving of it, and I do want to be the radiant sun in the center of my solar system. I am royalty, and I am claiming divine inheritance. That is what I am choosing to believe. That is what I'm putting my faith in, and that is what I am gearing my steps towards on a daily practice, daily basis, because this is where I'm going. The ultimate truth that I am deserving, life has a lot to offer, and I want to take a big bite of that apple and enjoy it, you know, claim it, and then protect it, Anyway, there we go. There's all that. So with all that, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me with my ramble. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable and putting myself out there. Thank you for my friends who are supporting me in this, and I really appreciate, just your love. I am available for booking, for personal readings, for both astrology and for cards, and you can just PM me if you're down for that. But first and foremost, I'm just going to keep trying to get these videos out of the way. Not out of the, well, it does feel like out of the way. it's hard for me to do this. It's a little bit embarrassing and super uncomfortable. So yes, there's definitely a vibration of like, oh God, getting the videos out of the way. I need to do this, but that's where I need to clean up my vibration. And again, the more that I do it, the better it'll be and the more comfortable we become. And then we can grow together. And I really appreciate your support as I, you know, clumsily batter my way through this. And yeah, it's through you that I get to learn and support myself as well. So thank you. And I'm just so proud of all of our growth, and I wish blessings and protection upon all of us as we walk our path today. Thank you. Bye.